What up? Waiting on Phil to get here. Eating some fruit snacks. They're delicious. He opened his computer and he said he had like he opened his MacBook and he had like 2 weeks worth of text sync. So we're trying to coordinate. Dominique. What up, player? Having technical difficulties. What's going on? How them chondros, Darren? I just put my male back in with my female. And then I offered the Cyania, my female Cyania, a chick, and she wanted nothing to do with it, which I thought was odd. But she's also never had a chick before, so. Guess it's to be expected. Ah, there he is.
Yahtzee.
He lives. What's up, buddy?
I gotta figure out how to, let this thing. I gotta like turn on the computer like 30, 40 minutes beforehand, because I only go on the computer a couple times a week, and just have to catch up. And it's like, bing, bing, and it's like everybody else. But we're here, Snakes and Stogies.
So I'm looking at our group thing and Instagram, because Instagram's been playing games all day with messages, and I'm just now reading over all the ones from like 9 this morning.
Oh yeah?
Or no, 7 in the morning. Jesus, 9:17 last night. What am I been doing? Jake said, "Big baller shock collar."
Yeah, I saw that shock collar. And
so we're like the Easy E thing, the Wu-Tang thing, big baller shock collar.
Shock collar. Oh jeez. Oh man. And did you see that Ryan Reed finally got into the group and he was like, "What the fuck did I just walk into?"
Where was that?
That's literally all he said. But hello, Dom.
I don't see him anywhere.
Hi, Mike. What's up, AM and D?
And Dizzle.
And DZ.
Well, that's from you. Yeah, dude, it's like messages all day have been not working, so playing catch up.
Keeping us down. Oh, Henry's in. So I gotta tell you, Henry and I had a very exciting day, but we'll segue to that in a minute. What are we smoking?
Subpar, like tired of smoking them, but it's all I have left. Espinosa.
Well,
what I got.
Minutes for the moment. Last minute. That's I was
Shot
combining
collar.
the two. Shot collar. I went with your aging room.
Oh, you didn't smoke that at Carver's?
Doing it for Snakes and Stogies, bro.
You actually had the self-restraint to not smoke every cigar you brought with you? Because I didn't.
No, what you're doing right now, but I can't smoke junk on Snakes. I gotta smoke good shit.
Hey. Copney says Snake was the category for the Daily Double on Jeopardy today. Hi, Cox.
And
So glad you were
Cox?
here.
What was the question? What was the Daily Double? I'm not going to go watch it.
Speaking of which, hold on. Cox. Mike Copney, I told him to get in touch with you because he's like on the hunt for super dwarf people. And I was like, go talk to Ryan Cox. So I don't know if they found each other yet, but they're here together at the same time. So
you don't know if it's Champagne. Well, Cox says it's Champagne.
Oh, cool.
And there you have it.
I mean, I don't think he's like a huge help, but you know, to each their own.
I will be honest. I watched Cox Instagram story earlier about him like having a migraine. And I was like, man, I want to give him a hug so bad. He just looked like he needed a hug. He looked like he was cold and tired.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a busy week.
What's that?
So it's a busy week, man. I was on. So we're doing this. We got THP tomorrow.
Nice.
Then I was on Carly and James's podcast, Reptile Gumbo, last night.
Cool.
Been playing catch up with magazine stuff. Had Carpet Fest over the weekend. You know, just
we survived.
Doesn't stop.
By the skin of our teeth, but we survived.
Dude, it never felt so good to be back in my bed. Like I came home, I went to bed at like 9.
Oh.
Yeah.
I called my mom when I was like halfway home, and I was like, "Listen, I know you're sick of watching the dog, but I gotta go home and like unload all this camping crap, and then I'll come get it." And she's like, 8:00 at night. I was like, no, I'll be there like dinner time. I got there like 7. But it had to happen. Had to have a shower.
It wasn't 8.
So we survived Carpet Fest, man. You want to talk about it a little bit or no?
Yeah.
I thought it was a great time. You know, it was exactly.
Go ahead.
What's that?
Huh?
I'm trying to let you talk. Are you lagging out on me?
No.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I'm just sitting incredibly still. It was a good time, man. Got to meet a lot of people that weren't there last year. Mike Copney, who's in the chat, being one of them. Really enjoyed hanging out with him and his lady. And actually, there was a couple of South Carolina guys there. You know, Copney being one, me and Jake, Jacob CH, who's up in Charleston. He's a big chondro guy. There's some other guys from upstate that didn't make it down, but I was talking to Copney about like a little South Carolina crew, just get together and chill.
Good.
Something up in Columbia. So I think we might make that happen at some point, maybe when it starts warming up or when it starts cooling down. We'll see. Phil's flexing. Phil's always flexing. Yeah, not like a reptile expo, but literally just like the South.
Just to meet up. Columbia's central.
Yeah.
Bogota is a beautiful town.
Huh?
Bad joke.
I don't get it. Oh wait.
Columbia.
Yeah, good one. I enjoyed it though, man. Carpet Fest was awesome. You know, like I said, there was a bunch of people that weren't there last year. There was a bunch of people that didn't make it down that were there last year that weren't this year. You know, it's always I'm always super excited to get down there and get to it, but then by like the time the weekend is over, I'm like, I want to go home. Like my social battery's gone. I want my bed. I don't want to sleep on a tent on the ground again.
Right.
Which, I mean, honestly, it wasn't as brutal. Last year, I felt like crap the next morning. Like I'd slept on my shoulder wrong, and I was hating life. But it wasn't so bad this time. Both mornings, I kind of woke up and was feeling decent. I was also sleeping really hard. I haven't stayed up that late in a very long time. I'm an old man, dude. Like 11 o'clock rolls around, 10 o'clock rolls around. I'm usually in bed and sleeping.
I know the feeling. We're old now.
I was just saying before you came in that I thought out a chick and was like, that's all I have as far as like bigger meal items. And so I was like, oh, I'm sure, my female Cyanea will eat it. No problem. It's a bird. Like,
yeah.
So I was like, oh, I thought it out, offered it to her.
We're talking chicken chick, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing. No, she's like, get it away from me. It's very strange, but at the same time, she's never eaten anything but mice, so probably didn't really register with her.
Right.
So then I had my female corn snake, which was also due for a meal, and I was like, you've never had one of these either. And she like came out of the tub and like launched at it and grabbed it. Thing's freaking psychotic.
Good.
But how was your first Carpet Fest?
It was exactly what I expected, but I was not expecting the. How do I phrase this? All right, so I'm the new guy, right? I'm the new guy. I haven't been around a long time in this group, and I've been doing this a long time, but not with this group. So, like, right. I don't expect people to know who I am. I don't expect people like, oh, you're the guy with those geckos. Like, I don't expect that in the least capacity. But everyone was warm and welcoming. Everyone was like, oh, you're the guy doing the cigar thing with Chuck. And I'm like, yeah, that's who I am. Awesome. So nice to finally meet you. And I gotta be honest, there's a couple people that I was like, oh my God, that's them. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then I was like, nah, it's cool. Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Big I'm fan. A wolf.
Leave it at that. There's actually a part where when we went to that brewery the first night, we were bullshitting outside smoking a cigarette with Arnold, and Balin came over, and Arnold started making fun of Balin because I guess he loves like hyping up, like, oh my God, it's Jason Balin. Oh my God.
Yeah, and Balin's just sitting there like, dude, for real. Yeah,
yeah, that guy wore shorts.
He did that with everybody.
So,
Jesus.
What's funny is I can tell that. Yeah, I've got the cough back again. So I could tell that Balin was a little like socially awkward whenever Arnold was doing that. So I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, man, huge fan.
Are you really Jason Balin?"
I was like, huge fan. Followed you for years. That was it. I didn't even shake his hand.
And he was like,
okay. Thanks.
We'll wheel around. Yeah, that was the first time I had met him too, and what are we doing? What is happening?
No, you talking to me?
That was the first time I had met him. And I mean, I didn't get to talk to him a whole lot, but there was a point in time where there was a group kind of hanging out fireside, and me and him were chatting a little bit. I asked him, what he's producing this year and some other stuff. Nothing too crazy, He's still doing his thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Which is better than when I talked to Tim Morris before Daytona and was like, hey, what are you producing this year? And Tim Morris is like, I haven't produced chondros in like a decade, bro. And I was like, oh, how stupid of me. I should have known that.
How foolish.
The guy who practically invented blue chondros. And he's like, yeah, I haven't produced anything in God knows how long. So did she? She ended up with the gator penis.
That's amazing. I didn't even see that thing. What was it? Just like a baculum or what?
Yeah, but it was like in a shadow box on moss. It's a very, very nice centerpiece for any table, any dining room table.
Nice.
And
A fine representation of the herpetocultural art.
Pia was really gunning for that one too.
That's hilarious. I'll tell you, man, Steve Sr., I felt bad that I won. I beat him out of the auction because like they're opening up a pet shop and he wanted to get cages for the pet shop and everything. And I was like, he's like 55. I was like 60, 65. I was like 75. And I won, and I was like, oh, I feel bad. I should just give him the cage. But
I did not vote on any auction items, at least. I did on a few in the beginning, and then once I got outbid, I was like, I'm done. Because I learned my lesson last year, bid on a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I'm not going to win it, whatever. And then they ended up calling my name a bunch of times because I had won a lot of stuff and then had to pay up.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not happening again next year. Just it's dangerous. Because there's so many items. Like, if you're not keeping an eye on them, you sneak up on you.
Of course. And then you're drinking, and it's only another $25, whatever. And then But I will say this though, I wasn't expecting you to bid on anything simply because I felt like you put enough the work you did. All the postings, the listings, the ads, all that stuff, man. I felt like you most definitely contributed to the cause.
Well, we also put up a THP shirt, a TCC shirt, a magazine shirt, that magazine ad space. I would have put up like a voucher or an animal if I had anything really for sale. I have, I got some gray bands, but like half of them aren't eating, so I'm not going to put up one of those that someone's then going to struggle to get going.
Yeah.
If I had animals or something, I'd put up a chondro in a heartbeat if I had any. Mm-hmm. I ain't scared.
Well, I lost it.
We're still waiting to get the final tally as far as what was raised, but it's already surpassed what we raised last year.
Nice.
So.
Excellent. Uploaded which is good.
Yes, that was kind of a it's never as easy as just uploading it. It ended up being like I'd put it in Premiere. I can't speak. I'm like super tired, so I'm trying to stay on track. But I put it in Premiere, did all the edits or whatever I needed to, put all because there was like 6 different files.
Right.
Because between each person, I would stop it, start anew, and go whatever. So I put it all in Premiere, put it all together, and then I'd export it. And then it kept giving me this error code. After like an hour of it working on exporting, it would be like error. And so I had to go on Google and figure out what that error code meant. Then I had to go back. I ended up just like getting out of Premiere Pro and just using Premiere Rush, which is like the quick version, the simple version. And then that was doing the same thing. And so then I had to go in and like restart everything. And finally, after like 4 hours of messing with this thing, it finally worked, and I uploaded it, which I then left it on overnight to upload on YouTube because it takes forever.
Right.
I woke up and it was at like 40%.
Oh.
So then I was like, whatever. I put on my my mobile hotspot because I have Verizon, and connected my computer to that, and it was within like 20 minutes. It was finally uploaded, and I was like, Jesus. Then I had to rip the audio, and I had to upload that. So I mean, I'm glad it's there. Like if there wasn't so much good information in there, important information that you could use, I don't know that I would have.
Relative pertinent information.
Well, I mean, I learned a lot just from that whole talk. Like.
Sure.
We hear about these viruses and stuff a lot, but a lot of people kind of don't really know exactly what that means. Like, what's it going to do to your snake? You know, how like they don't know really the details, I guess is kind of the better way to put it.
Sure.
So like knowing like, this is what's happening to your snake when it has the virus. This is why it's going downhill so slowly, and you know, I learned a lot from that talk.
Most definitely. I didn't know that there were different strains that are affecting different animals different ways. I thought there was, 2 or 3 of them and they just were there. No, I didn't realize there's essentially tens of strains of the virus. You know, I also thought it was very interesting because one of the biggest concerns I had was obviously cross-contamination of tools. You know, I've got essentially 3 different rooms, and now at this point I've got tools like hemostats and tweezers and tongs and stuff. But I wanted to know is if I exposed that stainless steel hemostat to the virus, how long exposed to room temperature before it's dead? And then it was interesting then, the doctor obviously talking about how it's not going to die. It could make itself more, because it is tropical. It's South Florida. And at the same time, it could be weeks, if not months before it is dead, and then the fact that they can't test or they haven't been able to properly test for the different disinfectants and stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's got me wanting to do bleach solutions now too. I mean, I love F10. F10's expensive. If you think, well, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's expensive because one of those little bottles lasts me a long time.
Yeah.
I only use like 15 milliliters per gallon, and I use a little more than I think what you need to. I put a little extra oomph into it. But I mean, hey, bleach and water are cheap, So, and it's, that's what he was saying. It's pretty much the most effective thing that he would be using because they don't know anything about those disinfectants yet.
Yeah.
We have the people who swear by like white vinegar or whatever, and maybe that works too. But I want whatever I'm killing to be dead.
Right. I'm a huge fan of Chlorohex. I buy it by the gallon, and I overdose that shit hardcore. But I have been using a lot of isopropyl these days, and probably not in the appropriate mixture. I'm usually using it straight, but I figure that's pretty damn good for. I'm obviously not talking about Nido and serpentoviruses, but for the normal bacterium that I'm going to cleanse it, straight alcohol, screw it. I'm aerating it. It air dries on its own relatively quick, so whatever. And Chlorohex, man. I drown shit in Chlorohex.
I don't know that they talked about just straight alcohol specifically. If they did, I don't remember.
They were talking about it diluted. They were talking about like 89 proof or whatever it was, isopropyl diluted in water and blah blah blah. I'm like, why would you want to dilute it? Fuck it, burn it.
Yeah, Dominique, it'd probably be wise to change it up. Like Andy was saying, he does a bleach every 2 cleans with F10. So it doesn't hurt to change it up, I'm sure. If you have a rotation of, F10, bleach solution, white vinegar, or whatever the hell the hippies are using. So that would be smart. But as far as Sean is saying, that talk is making me second guess F10 because we don't know. It's like, well, it's made for like the veterinary field. So I think it is effective to an extent, but it's a question of how effective.
Right.
Like I've been using F10 for years. I haven't had any issues with it. Like I'm not afraid. Yeah. I was just using the hook to pull out the male green tree to put in with the female. And then I was using that same hook to move around one of the boiga, and like I sprayed it down and I left it on the table for a few minutes to let it really kill off whatever it needs to kill off.
Right.
Let's see, Dom said, a lot of people in my ball python group swear by original brown Listerine. The old man Listerine. That's the kind of stuff Phil's going to use when he's about 80.
Yep.
I could see where that would work, but I don't know. Chlorhexidine. I lived with that vet for a little while, my buddy, and I asked him if he's never used F10, I had him look into it because I was like, you don't use this stuff. Look at it and tell me what you think. And I think he looked up some papers and stuff on it. And he's like, it's fine. It's you can use that or you can use chlorhexidine and whatever. They all kind of do the same thing.
Right. Well, what's funny is I was actually going to just to go back. I was going to ask Andy if he mixes those solutions. If he's doing F10 and bleach, and like if there's like a chemical reaction or not, I just don't know. But it got me on that one. But what I was gonna say is I was excuse me, I was questioning of the blue chlorhexidine a few years back, and somebody told me like, oh yeah, it's nice. Somebody told me it's not only antibacterial, it's also antifungal. And I was like, And I actually went out back and I found some mushrooms in the yard and I sprayed on the mushrooms and I watched those mushrooms like
dissolve,
just like black and wither. And I was like, that's my cleaning solution. So
it was a good talk. It was better than last year's. I mean, last year's was good, but they didn't have the slides. They didn't really go in depth. It was more of like a Q&A more than anything else. Yeah, that is. It's 3 negative. Like you want to test every 2 months, and if you get 3 consecutive negative results, he says it's pretty much safe to say that it's you're in the clear.
I was actually going to chime in on that. And so I'm going to be that guy. And I'm going to openly admit that I've never tested for any Nido or Serpento. I never have.
What about STDs?
I plan regularly. Especially that Burmese python herpes that I freaked out. What's his name about?
Yeah. They were like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm like, dude, these Burmese pythons get herpes and they get all these skin lesions.
Yep. Burmese python herpes simplex, number 49 or whatever it is. So, where was I going with this now? I forgot. Oh, yeah. How much is a test kit?
The basic, if I recall, is around $60.
Okay.
But that's everything, like shipping labels included.
Right.
All of it. Like the physical test kit itself, the results, all that stuff.
Okay. So $60 a pop. 3 times, right?
They do discounts though if you get a handful of like quantity discounts.
Okay.
Look at Andy playing devil's advocate here. He said it's tricky too, because what if you introduce? I guess he's saying introduce a new animal to the group. You just don't buy new animals. You clear your collection, and then you never touch another snake again.
Or you do what I do, and you have a definitive corn, and then all of a sudden your roommate brings home snakes and just throws them in the room.
Yeah, homie wouldn't play that, dude.
Tosses them in. Yep. Hard part too is you have venomous quarantine if you're in a place like Florida where certain rooms have to be certified as a venomous room. So I find myself putting them to opposite ends of the room, still having separate tools and separate equipment, but I can't just take it and put it in my bedroom. It's illegal. What am I going to do?
Yeah, and that's been brought up in other groups and stuff like that. And I mean, the general consensus is like that's better than nothing. It's not ideal, right, but it is at least something. Yeah, and I mean it's at least a start. Like as long as you're using separate tools, you're working them separately from everything else. You're doing all your cleaning and feeding separately. But I mean, yeah, it's not. Ideally, you'd want a separate room with everything, that you don't need.
Right. So that actually goes. That segues to my next thing. real quick before we talk about the vets, how many people out there? I see a lot of people on Instagram do this. I never do this. I use Purell. I wash my hands, but so many people are using latex gloves, and I didn't know if that was a mental thing on the person, or like, oh, they sleep, or if that's why they're wearing gloves, or if it was some kind of prevention of cross contamination between species. I don't know.
I know Riley does it a lot. I think it's mostly just because he's cleaning, cross contamination or whatever.
Right.
I'd be doing it, but it's just that's burning through so many gloves, and those things need to keep
Yep.
I know if I had gloves and I was cleaning, I'd be burning through like a half a box of those things in no time.
Oh yeah. Especially those nice black ones that have the special non-residue nonsense on them. Oh yeah.
The UFC referee glove.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe excuse me. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe it's because I consider myself having a pretty good immune system. I mean, I drank from the hose as a kid. That builds immunity somewhere. But I never wore latex gloves unless I was doing something with like blood or dead animal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never wore gloves. I mean, touching snake poo is no big deal. Touching human poo, that's totally different. Totally different. I don't know why that is, but it is. Time I had a Burmese python that was probably like 6 foot and had a real bad stuck shed, and I stood there and I just massaged that skin off after soaking him, and I got all the skin off, and I was like, all right, cool, it's good, happy snake. And then I didn't even think of it. I just wiped my hands on my pants, and then I went and did some other stuff, and then I went to get to this restaurant with some friends to get a burger, and I'm holding this big, bountiful, beautiful cheeseburger, and I'm just like, yes. And I take the bite, and I'm like, oh. I ate that cheeseburger.
No shame. Is that how you got Burmese?
Yep. That's it. That was the segue. Now everyone knows. Yep.
His street name is Syphilis.
Oh, Jesus.
They don't call him old Syphilis for nothing.
Oh, God. Oof. Oh, great. Now I'm getting messages. What is Henry sending me?
I was going to say, how did I know it was Henry? Do I even want to know? No.
Thanks, Henry. Thanks.
So Mike was saying how he was talking to, I guess, either Dr. Oz or Steve Tillis, and he said it's crazy how many exotic events really don't know shit about it. And that's true, but if you think about veterinarians on any scale, reptiles are probably one of the smallest percentage of things they actually see. Like, just because they're an exotic vet doesn't necessarily mean they know what they're doing with snakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A standard vet, they're going to see cats and dogs and maybe like a gerbil or something, or like a rabbit or some other small woodland creature. But you bring in like a bearded dragon and they're probably going to be like semi-clueless because they probably don't see that many of these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they mentioned it in the talk, but, a good exotic vet is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
You can hunt one down if they're a member of ARAV. The association, it's not ARAV.
Reptile and Amphibian Veterinarians?
Association of
ARAV?
Yeah, Association of Reptile and Amphibian Veterinarians. If you go to arav.org, they have a directory, and if a vet is a member of ARAV, you can find the closest one. And the ARAV vets, I think, are going to be like the really legitimate hurt vets, So That's a very handy tool to have. It may, I mean, it's going to suck because you're going to search your state and it's going to tell you that there's one like on the opposite side of it. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I actually have a gentleman that I'm not going to say his name just because I don't know if he wants it out there or whatever, but he's a pediatric surgeon. He's an older fella. He lives about 40 minutes north of me. He's a pediatric surgeon and he's known for his pediatric stuff, but he loves animals. He's wanted to be a vet for whatever reason didn't, and he's been doing veterinarian stuff on the side using his human practice. I guess you want to call it that. And I don't want to. I mean, I don't know if that's legal or illegal, whatever. He's not charging people. It's strictly for friends. It's like a friendly thing, but it's crazy how someone who is passionate and obviously well educated, but passionate, does a better job than most of the professionals that are supposed to be doing it.
Yeah. I mean, like talking to, my old roommate, vet school's tough, man. Vet school's hard, especially if you're going into like the exotic stuff. He says, human doctors, like they have it easy. They have one system they have to know.
Yeah.
He's like animal vets, not everything works the same. Obviously the physiology of a tortoise is going to be different from the physiology of a horse. There's different, like you have to learn just all these different systems and kind of, even if it may not even necessarily be in depth, but you have to have some sort of a general sense of, okay, if I'm giving a snake some sort of injection, you want to do it in like the upper third, like the first third of the body, because of the way their their circulatory system and stuff works and the way things travel through the kidneys and whatnot.
Right.
But that's not going to be the same with, a dog or a cat or anything else. He said, regular medical doctors, they have it easy because they just have to know the human body and that's it. They don't have to know the anatomies and workings and whatnot of a bunch of different species.
Right. Especially ones that go into a specialty field, because let's face it, there's not just an agamid veterinarian. There's not just a lacerted veterinarian. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, you want to read Dom's thing?
So the reptile rescue, I work with partners with a local vet school, and they return snakes they fostered to us because students were afraid of it. Not everyone is cut out to be a reptile vet.
True. I've been
and Mike said
that.
The thing is stressed with was the thing I stressed was the test. It needs to go to the right lab, so it's tracked, not a simple positive or negative result. He addressed that in his talk. Yeah, so he was talking about how not all facilities and not all tests are for NIDO are created equal. He said, some tests they're not very thorough. He didn't endorse anyone in particular, but obviously with PN Dr. Susan being there from Fishhead,
right?
I mean, I haven't used anybody else. And I haven't really tested a whole lot either, honestly. I tested the that male chondro I got from Evan a while back. I tested it, and the whole process is actually pretty straightforward. It's really not difficult to do. It's just expensive. But he talked about how, you can send a test to one group, you can send a test to another group, and you may not get the same results. And that just depends on how, like I said, how detailed, how in-depth are they checking these samples you're sending, and then was the sample itself even good? How solid was the sample you sent? Did you keep it refrigerated? Did you keep it cold? Did you keep it, basically keeping it away from heat, taking care of it to make sure it doesn't deteriorate, making sure it doesn't deteriorate in transit? There's so many factors that go into it, and I can understand why it's stressful and overwhelming for a lot of people. I totally get it.
That $60 test that we were talking about, that's a mouth swab, or what exactly is the test?
So the test comes with a set of gloves, a wooden tongue suppressor, and then you have
you're using a speculum.
Yeah, And you have like a medical grade swab, not a Q-tip, not something you just go get from the store. Like these are made for like taking samples. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a different kind of cotton and stuff they use. It's a lot.
It doesn't flare. It doesn't have fuzzies.
Right. Yeah. And so then it's really not that difficult. You grab the snake behind the head. It's easier with two people. I will say that I had to have my dad help me with mine. You know, I had him. I don't remember if I had him do the swab for me or if I had him hold it for me, but so basically, you know, they talked about how you want to swab towards the back of the throat. The choana, which is like if you're looking at a snake, so it's like this. You have like this is the outside of the mouth, right? Inside you have a little U of teeth. There's a little channel up there that you want to get in
between sets of teeth.
Yes. Like the roof, like the very roof of the mouth and like the center of the mouth.
Okay.
Like so, you want to get a good swab in there. I think they were saying around like the glottis if you can. So their breathing tube, their trachea, if that's what you want to call it. And then you it comes with a little sample with some like RNA stabilizer. I guess that keeps that sample preserved. You just take some scissors and cut that sample into that, seal it up. They give you a bag that seals like twice, like it tape seals and you like wrap it and fold it like a coffee bag. And then you pack it up in the envelope and send it back. And then you get results back within like a week. So the turnaround time is fairly quick. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm wondering, I thought about all my animals and the difficulty of doing it. And there's like certain animals that I just probably wouldn't do it with. Like I'm not going to do it on a 5.5 foot baboon. You know, I'm not going to do it on a 5 foot puff. Like that's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do it.
Not wide. Yeah.
But like the carpets and stuff, maybe some of the cobras, you could probably get away with it with the cobras. Certain animals I just don't like. And it's just like, for example, you know the restraining tubes, the clear ones?
Yeah.
I use those as much as frequently possible, even with harmless stuff, just because I don't like grabbing them. You know, that's just me. But
no, I'm the same way. Like with the adult chondros and stuff, man. Like I'm not just gonna go in there and grab behind the head. Like tubing them makes it so much easier. You know, you just put them in there and then wait for them to back out, and then at the right moment, you just have them.
I will say this though, I messed up a couple months back. When was this? Probably summertime, I guess. One of the black and white Thai cobras that me and Henry work with share ICAP. So I was like, oh, we'll just tube her and use the little alligator clip and just, you know, pop that sucker off.
Mm-hmm.
And she got stuck in that tube, and I was like, crap. So we wound up using tin snips and having to like cut the tube up the body carefully and then like get it right where she could like shimmy back and just dump her out. So but what's Andy saying? Venomous has never been tested positive even after being. I thought that in that slideshow they had Viperidae on there.
I'm sure. I mean, a lot of that stuff they talked about, you know, still applies to Paramyxo.
Okay.
Which Paramyxo will kill venomous snakes and pretty much anything else.
Right.
Let's see.
It's pretty, right?
That too, yeah. I don't know how the tests differ, but
okay.
Sorry, the Reptile Gumbo podcast I was on last night. That episode just got released, so I'm sharing it around.
Oh, cool. I'll give it a listen tomorrow morning on my way to work. By the way, the aging room, Nicaragua. Every single time I put it down and I pick it back up, totally new notes.
Really?
Every time. I'm thoroughly impressed. The draw was excellent in the beginning. It's getting a little tight, probably because I keep stopping smoking, but I'm enjoying it. I am. It's good shit. I appreciate it.
Way better than the 2018, that Encore.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you had that one or not, but man, was it overrated.
Really?
It's like, why do I was like, why do people like this? What was he saying regarding different species? I know he posted a chart showing that. Ryan's here. Let's see. So we'll tackle this first. So yeah, so you have different strains of Nido or serpentovirus. I call it Nido just because it's short form, shorthand. But so yeah, they found it in corn snakes. They found it in Amazon tree boas. They found it in a couple of other boa species. They talked about sand boas. Like they specifically talked about Stephen Tillis' sand boas and how they gave them active virus and they were literally asymptomatic. Like they had no signs of infection, but they were still carrying. Like virus was still present. So that's what we don't really know yet. It seems like Kenyans, yeah. So I think they're still trying to work out exactly what it is that it affects some species and not others. Obviously chondros and ball pythons are the big ones because those are the two that are sort of synonymous with the disease itself.
Right.
But they found it in colubrids, and it sounds like after talking to Oz and Steve Tillis on THP a couple weeks ago, like they found it in plenty colubrids, but none of those colubrids have been symptomatic either. So it's really strange, what is it about the green tree variety that makes it so devastating to animals over, a corn snake variety where the animal has it but is completely fine. I mean, who knows? I'm sure there's some sort of genetic link somewhere or another, but I'm also not a virologist. I'm just a guy with a cigar.
Just a handsome man.
And then Cox asked how does paramyxo, or however you spell it, affect elapids, or does it? It does, I believe. Paramyxo, from what I understand, will pretty much clear out a whole collection. It's pretty nasty. I don't think it's very common, thankfully, but it's pretty gnarly. That stuff's no joke.
Yeah, I seen a guy who had paramyxo, and luckily he only had 5 snakes, and the snakes were African cobras, and everything else died, and those African cobras sat there and took it like champs. But
that's another problem. Like you get it in your collection, you're done. Like there's nothing they can do about it. Like those animals are either going to die a slow death or you got to euthanize them. Like paramyxo is no freaking joke, man.
Yep. What are you drinking? You drinking a little White Claw?
No, it's Diet Coke with lime.
Come on, man.
Yeah. But I mean, I was fairly slack when it came. Like I did quarantine stuff before I met P and Cody and started kind of hanging out with them and talking to them, and I was like, whatever. I never had any issues. I've got mites a couple times, treated those, knocked it out, no problem, whatevs. But after hanging out with them and hearing their story about how they pretty much lost damn near everything in their collection at one point that was, non-venomous. We talked about on Reptile Gumbo last night, like it makes you paranoid, but it's up to you as to whether or not you let that level of paranoia like take over and stop you from doing anything.
Right.
Or if you're just smart about it and you're handling your stuff and doing what you need to do to make sure you have the right measures in place to keep something from popping off.
Yeah.
Like it's had me rethink shows, how often I'm going to them. Chondro wise, I don't have any interest in bringing anything new in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like just because I've got, I like my collection a lot. I've got a lot tied up into them. I really don't want to lose them to something stupid like I got a good deal on a chondro and had to have it.
Right.
I think the one thing I hope everyone sort of takes away from the whole Nido talk and, learning from P and Cody's, absolute disaster is, at least like think twice before you buy stuff. Think twice about who you're buying from. Think twice about, going to shows and handling a bunch of stuff and then going home. And, like now if I go to a show, the first thing I'm going to go do is like change my clothes and shower. And I mean, that may be excessive to some people, but it's like, what's the P and Cody, P especially says it all the time. She says, so like an ounce of prevention prevents a pound of like headaches or something like that. I'm spacing hardcore right now, dude. So basically, like, it's small stuff. Like you can save yourself a lot of pain and heartache if you just be smart,
Right.
Use a condom. Practice safe sex.
Don't get Burmese herpes.
That's right.
That's right.
There we go.
There it is.
Cox, man, Cox is always on point, man. This dude's always right there. My man.
So on a lighter note, one of the head IT guys bought a bunch of cameras from I guess it's like a Kickstarter or startup program. Caleb actually commented he knows about them, and it's called Wise.
Yeah, Riley uses those.
Okay. And I was actually going to ask Andy, if he's still listening, what cameras he was using that he showed us when we were in the car for his snaps.
Mm-hmm. He's got that like Bruce Wayne setup.
Yeah, he does. Well, he is Bruce Wayne.
Super high tech.
So
he's like print out an Excel sheet of all my data. At the push of my button.
So we put one in with the breeding black and white Thai cobras, and as soon as we put the camera in, they copulate.
They knew.
So we didn't need the camera. What's that?
They're exhibitionists.
Yeah, we didn't draw, but it's still cool that I got it on film. And then it literally 10 minutes after we left, we knocked it over. So now it's just the inside of the hide cave. So we'll have to fix that tomorrow. I feel like combined.
So Sir Ryan Reed says, I undress in the garage, place my clothes in the wash, and then take a shower before going to the in-room after a reptile show.
Yeah. I also don't touch any animals or any tables unless I'm physically going to buy it.
Right. And that's
I never
that kills me, man. Going to Repticons and like there's the people there that would rather take their kids to that than go to pay to the zoo. And so they just hop from table to table with their strollers, and they're not there to buy a damn thing. They're just there because it's a cheap form of entertainment.
You got
Let's just go handle all these animals for free. We're going to go handle this ball python, and then we're going to walk 2 tables down and handle another one. And there's not enough Purell in the world to get that to wash the feeling of paranoia off of my hands during that.
Part of me doesn't want to get too upset by that. I mean, obviously it's annoying and it's frustrating and it's dangerous, but those people have no idea what serpentovirus is. They have no idea what any of this means. You know what I mean? Animals don't get sick. They're animals.
I'm mostly annoyed at the fact that, like, I'm at a table, I'm trying to buy something, like, cash in hand, like, I want that, I know I want that, I'm going to buy it. But I have to sit there and wait. Because these people are like, let's go handle the animals. It's a petting zoo.
That vendor fucking know better. Pardon my French. That vendor should fucking know better that they're literally what we in retail call a nosebleed. You know? you can tell who's going to buy. You can tell who that woman with the stroller is with the kids, that she's just trying to entertain them, right? So there should be a conscientious realization, if anything, that this guy who happens to look like a handsome Sasquatch is going to spend money, while as this guy over here isn't going to buy a goddamn thing.
They see me with my Bears, Rats, Our Life shirt, and they look down and see the Bears on their table, and they see the cash in my hand, and they're like, step aside. This guy looks like he's about to buy something from me.
This guy knows what's up. And I'm not trying to
judge a book by redneck bullshit.
Judge a book by its cover. I try my damnedest to not judge a book by its cover. I've had some people come into my store that looked like complete shit bags, and they were the nicest healthy people you've ever met. So I try not to judge, but when you've worked retail, and let's face it, shows are retail long enough, you can tell who is literally just taking their kids to the petting zoo. You know?
I think it should also be, as far as like the spread of germs and things and nasties, it should be completely like the vendors should also be aware of what's happening and what they're doing, and knowing that these people are going to go to other tables and touch snakes, whether you think you have something in your collection or not. It's like, be part of the solution and not the problem, and be like, if someone wants to hold something, are you actually going to buy it? Are you serious? Or if I'm selling conjures at a show and someone's like, oh, can I take it out and handle it? It's like, no. And now I'm probably not going to sell one to you, because it's like, these are neonate conjures. They're not meant to be played with and finger fucked. They're meant to be left alone until they get to a certain age to where they're strong enough, and you're not going to screw them up for life and turn them into Stephen Hawking.
Yep. I don't know. It is tough, because I have.
It's a fine line.
It's a fine line. I've been that guy that was like, "Hey, let me see that snake," and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna buy it," and like I know the right questions to ask, and I'm excited and I'm genuine. I want to see this animal, and I flip the animal over, and I'm like, "It's not what I'm looking for. I'm sorry, man," and I hand it back to him. Now, me personally, I'm gonna Purell, and I'm maybe gonna go wash my hands. Depends on what I touched. If I have like musk on me or whatever. But I guarantee you, they're not thinking about the cross-contamination. They're thinking about, this guy wasted my time. Because the money is taking over in their mind.
He didn't give me money.
Pretty much. So, and I don't mean to stereotype or to put everyone in one category. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are completely contrary to what I'm saying. I'm sure there is, but for the most part, not so much.
Did Billy tell you the story of his, like, the kid at the show who wanted to see one of his coastals or something like that? Did he tell you about that this weekend?
No.
So he was.
I don't remember. There was a lot of stories this weekend.
He was vending a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this kid came up and was wanting to buy one of his coastals, or wanted to look at one of the coastals or something like that, one of his carpets. And so then I guess this kid like looks at it, and then his buddy comes up, and his buddy wants to hold it. And so he's like, all right, cool. So he like the buddy gets handed this snake, and it bites him.
Right.
And the guy, instead of just kind of remaining calm and like just taking it, like literally like throws the snake at Billy's displays. Like wasn't thinking about it, just like it was a natural reaction of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then Billy was like, you're done. Like, just go. And the guy he said the guy was like super apologetic and stuff like that. But I'm like, I don't want people handling the stuff I'm trying to sell. Like, I know you want to see it, but the deli cups are clear. If you like, here's an idea. You ready to have your mind blown? You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You take the snake that's on the table with substrate in the deli cup that's being sold.
Right.
or available, I should say. Put it in a clear deli cup, and then let the person look over it that way. They can take their flashlight on their phone and check for mites under the chin, and then you're not having to handle it. Like, make them come to like the side of the table so they don't just like snatch your shit and run.
Right.
Then they don't have to touch it. You can either like trash that deli cup or just put it in a bucket with disinfectant and let it soak. And just literally see, like, if you know what you're looking for as far as a healthy snake,
right,
do you really have to have your hands on it?
Yeah. It's no different than when shopping for venomous.
Exactly.
It's no different. I don't play with a cobra. I don't play with rattlesnake.
Why not?
Because I'm a grown up.
You got that baby dick? You ain't man enough to free handle a 6-foot gaboon.
She asked for 6 inches. I fucked her twice.
With the head of a Volkswagen.
Right.
That would absolutely destroy you.
My big male puff adder was so pissed off today. Oh my god, dude. He bit the glass so many times I had to like back up because I feel bad. He's hitting his face in the glass. He did not want to eat his rat. He was just not a happy camper. Maybe it's the weather or something. I don't know. He was just in a foul mood today.
It's his time of the month.
It probably is. It probably is. Because it's been cold down here, I've been keeping the heat lamp on 24/7, and I think it's finally getting to him. You know?
Mike said, my favorite show people are the vendors with snakes, dogs, cats, and some kind of rodent, and the bath fitter people. A lot of people buy reptiles and need bathroom overhauls. You get that? You get that at any of the show, like the Repticons and stuff down there?
What do you mean?
Literally, I went to the last time I went to the Charleston show, Charleston Repticon. There was a bath fitter booth.
No,
I guess Repticon was like, free money, sure, why not? You can go stand in the back corner over there.
Wow,
it seems like if it's the Columbia show or the Charleston show, like they always have this one vendor and everyone's like, why are you here?
It's probably someone related to the vendor.
I don't know.
Probably like his brother-in-law sells tapestries or some shit. I don't know. I will tell you this though, down by us, the Repticons down by us, you do get like the weird stuff. Like there's
CBD oils and bath salts.
Yeah, there's that, and then there's also like the jewelry. It's like really, really cheaply made snake jewelry that there's only like one little display of snake stuff, and the rest of it's all like tchotchke flea market crap. You do get those.
There was another one. I'm trying to think of what it was. And that was the same thing. I was like, why are you here? And I can't remember what they were selling. Might have been like irrigation systems or something.
Really?
He says we have windows inside.
Nice.
Dude selling bootleg DVDs.
Oh my god.
Hey man, it's a long flight back.
Right?
Have a copy of Wally. $5.
I like it at the gun show. They got 2 different jerky guys, you know?
See, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jerky, like people want a snack. That's like,
yeah.
I don't need a walk-in bathtub as much as I'd like one. I legitimately see the commercials and I'm like, that's straight up a little hot tub with a door, dude.
Yep.
You're never too old for that. I'd be in that bitch with an ashtray on the ledge, kick back, Bluetooth speaker on, just hanging out. Like that's the one thing I look forward to when I get old as hell. Getting one of those walk-in bathtubs that literally turns into like a hot tub. Like, hell yeah, man.
Oh, Company puts up, there you go, the gemstones. See, all right, so I don't have a problem with the gemstone guy because reptile people like fossils, they like prehistoric shit, they like science. I'm all about the science, man. Everyone loves science in this realm of things. Got control before a private breeder of.
You're breaking up. Yeah, go back. Time out. You're cutting it. You're still cutting in and out a little bit.
How now, good. Brown? Now I'm good. So, no, what I'm saying is that I don't mind the gemstone guy because nice breed. I don't mind the gemstone guy because it's still sciencey. Reptile people love science. They love fossils. They like all that stuff. I'm totally cool with that. But if the gemstone guy got preferential treatment over who's been on a waiting list to get into that Repticon or to get into that show, that's not fair. If someone's been on a waiting list to sell their captive bred animals months or years, and then some gemstone guy gets in, that's not cool. I don't like that.
Yeah, if you're not selling anything directly related to like the hobby, you get last dibs.
That's the way it should be. Nice, Cox. Nice.
Genomic Lab said the last Anaheim show was a pretty big booth that sold nothing but candy. He said he was dumbfounded, and he said like huge bags of candy for like a kid's party.
That's just weird.
I mean, like I'm sure they made a killing because I'm sure there was plenty of kids there that were like, "Give me a pound of jelly beans."
Right.
30 packets of ketchup.
It's the day after Halloween.
Yeah. Might be a little chewier than normal.
Peeps. Marshmallow Peeps in like July. Like, that's fresh.
Oh, I hate Peeps. Peeps are actually, have you ever roasted Peeps?
Like on a stick?
Yeah, like roast a Peep like you would a marshmallow.
Oh, what happens?
It's pretty good. That sugar just turns into like a hard shell. It like caramelizes. It's pretty dope.
Nice.
Something to think about.
Easter's coming up. In
like 2 months.
I'll get my stick and my fire ready. I literally just imagine some cute little pink bird, and it's just like
on fire, in flames, screaming.
I wonder, does it make like a creme brulee?
Kinda, yeah. That's what it was. It's a thing that stops like leaves from getting into your gutter and clogging
Every
it
herper
up.
needs that. Every herper needs that.
I am living in 30/20. I'm kind of surprised more people don't think about that. It's like you roast marshmallows on a stick. Just take a sugar-covered marshmallow and roast it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can hear this.
Smartest
awfully loud, and I can't tell if they're fighting or they're just loud.
Aren't they fighting all the time?
No, not always. Well, they're laughing. It's another language.
Ball and Boca. The Boca Brawl.
I don't know what the hell's going on up there. I think it's Spanish. Yep, yeah, it's Spanish.
Yep, you're in Florida, all right.
Yes, sir, I am. 32 miles north of Miami. Slither Inc. What is Slither Inc.?
Cox can explain it. I don't have the mental energy to bust that one out.
That's fine. No bother.
I don't know that I have an opinion as far as the whole Slither Inc. thing. He's a pretty controversial person in the hobby right now. Breeds retics, sells a ton of them. I'll tell you when you're older. The smoke is boring.
Boring.
It's like
sorry.
people at the shop all the time ask me about certain cigars. They're like, "How's this one?" And I'm like, "It's a cigar."
Yeah.
That's the extent of my description. You know, it's like, hey, you got a cigar? Yep, here's a cigar. Yes, Sean. There's some sort of, I don't know exactly what the backstory is. So don't quote me on this, but there's some sort of, the guy, the slithering dude, has like some sort of history with dog fighting, and he sells retics, and apparently his like whole collection is like disgusting, but it sounds like no one actually knows because no one's actually like really seen it. There's people that think he's great. There's people that think he's the freaking Antichrist. I don't know where I don't really sit on that fence necessarily. I bought a hook. He sells hooks, like these little small hooks, and I bought one at the last Charleston show, and I talked to him for a few minutes. He's a really nice guy. He's friendly. He's personable. He's usually got these big ass speakers, and he's playing like Def Leppard and Motley Crue at obnoxiously high levels. You know, so it sucks to be in a booth near him. So, do other Repticons have a sketchy snack bar run by a Shriner with cigs in their mouth?
Yes.
Probably.
Yep. Oh, come on, Reed. Really? That was a good smoke.
What'd you give him?
I gave him an Intemperance.
Oh.
Which I still have majority of that box left. I think I gave away like 3. It's good. I'll smoke them. More for me, Reed.
Dude, I smoked so many.
Dude, you were doing like 6 a day.
I took like $108 worth with me and smoked all of them. Just literally like 15 for the weekend.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Hi, Katie.
She said, "Hey."
Let me see that pretty face, girl.
Reed says he's a sissy.
He's my sissy.
Reed's the man.
Reed is the man. Reed's the man. Reed has venomous arboreals on the mind now, and I'm kind of liking it.
Dangerous.
I got that new Zilla cage, man, and if I play my cards right, I'm gonna get some Indonesian Vaperidae.
Which ones?
So I don't want to jump the gun, but if I play my cards, what's that?
There's Nishii.
No.
Come on.
Presented a beautiful pair of them by a friend for a reasonable price, but unfortunately, I'm too old school to pay that price, and therefore I declined respectfully. Yeah. But no, I think I want to get purple maculatus.
Perps. Oh yeah. You mentioned that.
You want to get the
you want those Dark Knight perps though. You don't want the perps.
Them black.
You want the
and Hispida if Reed plays his cards right.
Hispida sound like just a pain in the ass.
Dude, I kept Hispida perfect for like, and I gotta be honest, I regret being bored with it and selling it. I do.
You have to feed them snails.
Alive.
No. Yeah, I guess that would do it.
I was working at Strictly at the time, and they had tree frogs, so I would just be like, mine, feed. The thing was super chill. It would ride a hook. It was all hairy and crazy.
Yeah, all the videos I've seen of them, you know, Courts used to post a lot of videos of them. They always kind of seemed like they were just kind of chilling, you know, just kind of like bebopping around, like, yeah, I'm here. Yep. I'm not doing anything, but I'm here. Even the Daniel Wakefield, he found one when they were in Uganda, and even that one, like they were filming it, it was just kind of like cruising, like it's just Like there was nothing else there. It was the only thing in the world, and it was just like, I'm on a branch.
Nice.
But I'm sure if you grabbed it, that thing would freaking mess you up.
And no, Cox, I am probably not going to get into Solaris because I have friends that have blue and Solaris, and I don't want to. That's like their thing, you know. I do want the Hispida. If Ryan was talking, or Reed was talking about getting some, and I'm like, man, that'd be awesome if you can get me some. I want some, but
You want some
honestly,
Hispida.
I want the perps first.
A Theris Hispida.
A Theris Hispida. But my computer keeps kicking me out of the live comments. It's annoying the shit out of me.
Dude, I've said it before. I've said it a million times. If I were keeping exotic venomous, I'd be going absolutely balls to the wall on arboreal stuff.
I know.
A Theris, Cryptolite, Prize, Bothriechis. Those, even those Ophriechis, those little Mexican horn booger looking things.
Mexican baby dicks.
Those things are cool, man.
They are.
Like those are the most underappreciated snakes in P and Cody's collection because everyone's like, I've never even heard of that before. They were just found like rediscovered in like 2011, right? They're not even that old.
Yep. I don't know, man. I just never really got into South American stuff. Like, I'm sorry, but like Bushmasters are way too expensive. I never got into Carias, the boas. I had Brazilians rainbows for a while. I'm not a red tail guy. I just never got into South America. I mean, Cribos are awesome. I love Cribos. I have Cribos.
I still would really like the beadeds from Ryan, but I don't have the space to devote to them unless I'm keeping them here in the garage. Like that would be really fun. I would really enjoy it, but I just if I do them, and I told him this, like if I did do them, I'd want to do them right. You know, get them set up in a nice big setup. You know, get it just kind of like how P and Cody do their stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like do them some justice.
Yep.
Andy said unfortunately he's now obsessed with Mambas. It's like P and Cody's place will do that to you with a lot of stuff. I feel like those price eye weren't fully appreciated by a lot of people.
No, not at all, dude. And to be honest, I saw
like, it's not neon green. They're cool,
dude. That animal was awesome, and the enclosure that he made, dude. That enclosure for the price I was so cool. Oh,
I told
that
Paul
was probably one of my favorite.
Start making those backgrounds and selling them, dude. Like make them pre-made for certain size exos and stuff. It's like people would be all over that shit.
Yeah,
they look good.
Bye, Dom.
Like Dark Frog people.
Oh yeah,
would be all over those.
Everybody.
I mean, dude, like especially if you manage to drill a hole, I guess, and coat the inside of that so that you have something you can just put a bromeliad in and you don't have to worry about it falling off and shit, and it can take really grip. I need to talk to Paul because I mean maybe that's something worth trying on some of my stuff eventually, but
I didn't know.
At some point, I need.
Cody told me that the glaze that they use for the foam is from Hot Wire Foam Factory, and it's special. It's not just grout. You know, everyone uses grout. It's not just grout. It's special coating that the foam people make. I thought that was cool.
Huh.
Oh, by the way, Andy, you may love those Mambas until you own them. Mambas are a pain in the ass, man. And don't forget that Cody has 4 interns that take care of those things for him, so he's blessed. I'm not taking care of my shit. Literally, done with that poo. Although, I do personally feel that Angusticeps musk smells like celery.
That would make sense. They're green just like celery. They're the same color.
Yeah, right?
Reed, if I make it up there sometime soon, I can get a better grasp. I can get a better grasp of their size and then maybe make a decision from there.
And I would much rather, if Justin passes on them and Cox wants them, I would much rather Cox get them. I know is taking good care of them, opposed to some other people, not so much.
Yeah, show up to Delta to pick them up and get clapped, Cox said.
You just drive across the border. Nothing wrong with that. Yes, Andy, they're such a nightmare. Ugh. But I will tell you this. I love taipans. I think taipans are my favorite snake. And I had a couple in the past. And I never had inlands. And I really, really want inlands. And Henry wants inlands too. And I'm sure in time, Henry and I will have inlands and we'll probably breed them. But seeing Cody's makes me just want them so goddamn bad right now. And I'm like, no, I got enough snakes as it is. I told myself I wasn't going to do high-speed shit anymore. But they're so fucking cool, man. And they're so intelligent. And all I do is find myself reading all my old books that I have and watching old YouTube videos from like the... Just, yeah. I'm fucking myself. That's why I'm like, baby tree viper. Baby tree viper. It's fine. It lives in a little box. I missed it. It doesn't fly out at Mach 10 and try and eat my face. Smart, right? And then Henry sends me some picture of a goddamn inland on the moonscape in Central. Oh, you know Henry.
Man, Eric Burke is teasing
what do you do
me
now?
with his Mog Line inland carpets.
What, you just post them or something? Oh, yeah, that's that.
He's like, check this
Damn.
out. I know you'll appreciate it. I want some of those inlands so damn bad, dude. I want inlands more than I want rough scales. Like hands down, I would take inlands over rough scales. I know no one does, and I don't care because I'm a man of my convictions.
Dude, all right, Cox. Yeah, you know I was gonna fucking fall for them goddamn taipans. I fucking love those. Dude, they're legit my favorite snake. And it pains me that I have to be such a grown up and not own them. Like it annoys me that I'm like, no, Phil, don't be stupid. Be an adult. You don't need that shit right now. And my friend Elliot, what are you burning yourself again?
No, I had a chill. I'm sorry.
And then my friend Elliot, who lives in Queensland, he actually sent me this picture he took of an inland in the moonscape of Central Australia. And he actually, it was entered into I don't know if it was Australian National Geographic or some kind of Australian photography thing. But dude, look at this picture of this inland that he took. This shit is monumental. Of course, now that I said that I'm not going to be able to find it, I'm going to be that guy. Oh, man. Okay, never mind. I don't have it, but it's a beautiful picture of a taipan in the desert. Oh. So what's Burke saying?
He keeps tempting me with these inlands. He keeps waving them in my face, and I can't get them because he doesn't have any available.
Oh well, so he's really being a poophead.
Yeah.
Almost want to take my head off. Yeah, they had taipans. Carly, yay! Welcome to the chat.
She's only here for like 2 seconds.
For like what?
She's only going to be here for like 2 seconds.
Prove us wrong, Carly. Prove us wrong.
Oh,
Oh,
now
here's the
Ryan sent me
picture.
pictures. Oh, Ryan's that. Damn, that's a big. That'd be big. Damn.
So here's the picture that my friend Ellie in Queensland took. And hopefully that this camera does it justice, but I need this on display in my living room. It's going to happen. I'm retarded, but this is what's going to happen. Is if I get it to.
Oh yeah, that's
How
legit,
awesome
dude.
is that picture?
That's good.
Yup.
I like it.
It's the wallpaper on the computer. Hopefully Elliot will see this. He probably won't because he's 14 hours ahead, but he's in the future, man. Isn't that crazy?
Great. Santa's still bringing us our presents after he's hit Australia already.
Listen, it killed me when him and my uncle who lives in Sydney, they both messaged me at, what is it? Like, it's like, Happy New Year, mate. And I'm like, haha, I got like 14 hours, thanks. What's funny is I went to a bachelor party. He actually works for a contracting company doing animal surveys for construction sites. So basically, if a construction site is going to do any kind of work on a naturalistic area, he has to go in, basically remove any wildlife that's living there, or tell the bulldoze because X, Y, and Z happens to live there. And he goes out in the bush for days sometimes. Well, I went to a bachelor party in Orlando, and I got shafted pretty bad. And I got up there like 11 o'clock at night, and I wound up leaving at like 1 in the morning, just angry, sober, just like, why did I? And I'm like, man, it's 2 in the morning. Call like to talk. Excuse me, everyone I know is asleep. I was like, Elliot's awake. So I did FaceTime phone call. I was like, oh my God, it worked. And it connected and it was crystal clear. And I was like, kudos to Facebook, not FaceTime, excuse me, Facebook video call or voice call or whatever, for having international awesomeness for free. And he's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm about to drive out in the bush and do some work. I can't talk. Sorry. And I was like, I was so sad. I was so sad because it's the one person across the fucking planet that I actually could talk to on this horrible drive home, and he has to work.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, dude, that you can do that stuff on Facebook. I remember it wasn't that long ago that all that technology and stuff would have cost you a fortune, at least to get a decent quality out of the call itself. And
right.
Damn Zuckerberg.
That special screen and everything. I remember that.
Single-handedly destroying our species.
All right, so since the majority of our men, with the exception of the beautiful Carly Jones, is it unmanly to FaceTime or video chat with another dude? Is that weird? I mean, this
don't know. I haven't done that many of them.
But like when I first got an iPhone, I wanted to FaceTime everyone. I was so amazed. I was like, look, that's another person across town. That's crazy. I could see them. Like it was like a Star Trek moment. And then they're like, dude, why are you FaceTiming me? Men don't FaceTime. I'm like, yes, they do. It's like, dude, you just got a smartphone for the first time. Like, we understand, but stop FaceTiming men. I was like, okay, I won't do it. And now, I hesitate.
Sorry for caring.
Sorry for thinking. Sorry for wanting to see your face.
I'll try to stop.
Only when naked. My chat window keeps blinking in and out, so I'm getting intermittent things. Are you gonna put that one up? What Cox put?
Nice.
It's good. It's good. I when my dog was younger, when he was like a legit puppy, he used to sit in my pants when they were around my ankles when I was going to the bathroom, and I used to take pictures of it where like you could see my knees and like my pants around my ankles and like the dog in the middle, and I thought it was super cute. And I sent it to people, and people didn't think it was cute. They were like, "This is disgusting. Why would you send that?" I'm like, "Because it's adorable. My little puppy in my pants."
Something wrong with you.
That came out wrong.
Mike, if you're still here, we'll talk to you later.
Guten Nacht, Herr Kopney.
Did you see? So I have to brag for a minute.
Fire away.
Sean got the first issue of the magazine printed. And I'm sure everyone in here probably saw that at least somewhere because
we all reposted it.
I plastered it everywhere.
Yep.
That shit looks so damn good.
I know.
And because of him, I found a website where I can upload each issue, and if people want hard copies, they can go and buy one. So it'll still be free digitally. But if you were so inclined to have a physical, tangible copy for the low price of like $22 shipped, you could go buy each issue.
So why have you not sent me the link?
Because, well, okay. Here's the deal with this, right? So I set up the account, I uploaded all the issues.
It wasn't the thing that he sent me to send you, was it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, he sent me what he used. Remember, it was in euros, even though it came from Washington State.
Yeah, it's the same website.
It's the same website? Okay.
Same website. But the issue is it's not really made to have a storefront where people can go to your storefront on Picho and order what they want. It's made like they have this thing where you can embed the ability to buy one on your website. So it's meant to be more of like, add this to your website, people can buy it. You can still get a link and send it to people and they can buy one. But there's no like, picho.com/herpetoculture magazine where you could go and be like, okay, I want a copy of that, a copy of that, copy of that, check out, whatever. Like they're having it so that you can go on the web, that's meant to be put on your website as like an extension, more or less, and then people can buy it from there. So that snowballed into, I bought a domain today, gonna start working on the website tomorrow because Ben Yunker, who was helping with the Carpet Fest website, I went to him and said, hey, if you can hook a brother up with some server space on your WordPress thing and help me out. Like I literally just need somewhere to host it. I looked at Squarespace, which is what I use for THP. They didn't have any templates I really liked, so Ben like hooked me up with hosting. So we had the domain, and hopefully I can get it up and running like with at least like the first thing I'm probably going to set up is like the shop option so people can go and buy copies. I can post a link, people can go get it. But now the debate has been, I was talking to Billy about it earlier, with this website, should I upload all the articles onto the website? Or should I just keep it simple and have it so that maybe just the issues are embedded and people can read through it there? I'm thinking for the sake of Google and us getting a hell of a lot more traffic and SEO stuff, putting all the articles up individually.
Okay.
But Billy's like, I don't know, man, that's a lot more work. And I'm like, well, I'd rather do it now when we're 4 issues in than when we decide to do it down the road 30 issues in, and now we have to go and backlog all these articles. So if we're going to do it, we kind of need to decide. And he's like, well, it's up to you. So I'm probably going to do it because now's the time.
So just so I'm reading you right. Okay, so it's still going to be on ISS.
Yes, it's going to be on issue.
We're going to have herpetoculturemagazine.com, and then when you go there, it'll just have every single independent article. It won't have like issue 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, it probably will. Like I can still embed them, but like if we're gonna have that website, like reptiles, they have their website.
Yeah.
If you search, there's different.
Right.
They have articles and stuff on there, like archived more or less.
Sure.
I want to do that, but I want to do that strictly for like people looking up stuff on. Like we have an article on sailfin dragons in this next issue.
Right.
Like people Googling sailfin dragons. Like we get enough stuff on that website that's going to be at the top of the rankings. And I mean, the THP website, like I really don't update as much as I should, but I've checked the analytics on that recently and it still gets a decent amount of traffic pretty much every week. So
Cool.
I think it would be kind of stupid not to go ahead and put all the articles on there.
I agree.
And we can have a separate page with contributors and, anyone who's ever contributed, they're there,
Excellent.
Link their social and whatnot on those as well.
I love it. And then your SEO going to be top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do it right, man. Like I'm kind of shooting for this to eventually be like enough of a thing to be full time. Like growing it. That might be in like 5 years, that might be in 10 years, but I think the website and putting all the articles on there is probably wise just because that's just gets more eyeballs. And that's kind of the name of the game right now is like get this thing in front of as many people as possible.
And I'll tell you, I've had my one complaint from anyone who I've forwarded the magazine to is the issue website.
It can be a little wonky.
And unless they type in perfectly Herpetoculture magazine on Google, they won't find it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is like you always post the link on the IG pages, and then I just copy the link, right? And I put it on my IG page, and that's what I send to people. But the link is always funky. It's like a weird 6-digit.
Yeah, that's the Bitly link. That's the link shortener. Yeah. And that just makes it looks a little cleaner.
Right, but it's also hard because I wind up finding myself just sending them Google Herpetoculture magazine and click the first one,
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to issuu.com, which by the way I feel obligated to spell because every time I tell them it's issue, they spell out issue and it brings them somewhere else.
Right.
But whenever it goes to the ad page, the selling page, and there's no way to search for anything. Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, if you just go to issue.com, it's not the publications. It's the want to make a click here for $89.99 or whatever it costs. I don't know.
Well, what I'm thinking I'm going to do too, as far as like the keywords for the website and stuff, is put in like Herp Mag, Reptile Magazine, so that when people search up these things, that pops up. So I have a plan in place as far as the website thing goes that will hopefully make things a little easier. But yeah, I mean that URL is kind of a mouthful. Hey. It like drives me crazy that I can't see who's actually in like watching. It just says there's 7 people. Doesn't tell me who. I want to know who's lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. I think that the magazine definitely needs a website. I think it'll get more exposure. I think it'll be good for everyone and everything. I do. Maybe even get more ad sales. Sean says, still here, driving-ish.
Oh. Yeah, so it's kind of funny, man. Like, what he said, don't open that message. Did he send that to me?
Oh, by the way, the picture you sent me, that's a Therai?
Yeah.
Thing looks good, bro.
That's one of my dad's, man. I was
That
just
Therai
telling
looks
Reed.
good.
I sent it to Reed too. Like I want to steal that thing so bad. Like if
Mm-hmm.
he ever gets rid of that, I don't even care if I don't end up breeding him or anything like that. I just want that freaking snake.
Yeah, that's a damn good looking snake. That's like textbook too, man. You know,
It's wild, dude. It's
Are
like
we
this
showing
greenish tan. If it'll show up.
There you go.
Let's see. Does that?
Yours is better.
I don't know. But yeah, so like the website's going to be kind of a big, like the big project, in between the next issue, which I'm working on. Ian won the the ad for the rest of the year. So I did that today. I'm gonna tell him to share that around because he seems pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it. Emailed some other people. Haven't heard back from any of them about advertising. I'm on the hunt. Just I think it's not terribly appealing to advertisers right now because the numbers are still kind of low,
right?
Overall, So I think
has there been an increase of issue 4?
Huh?
Has there been an increase in issue 4?
They, with the exception of the first issue, they're all pretty much about the same. So issue 4 has, huh?
First issue being the best issue.
Yeah, that had like 2,000 reads.
Wow.
And then everything else had between 850 and 885.
Excellent.
So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the hell we did differently with the first one.
Honest opinion, it was honestly, I think it was because people were anticipating it, and everyone was like, and they're like, "Oh, cool, they did it." That was it.
That's kind of what I thought too. I don't know. I'm still kind of experimenting with like Facebook ad campaigns and seeing like being able to look at whether I have an ad campaign send people to the page itself or to the website where they could actually read that issue.
Right.
And seeing like what's getting sort of more traction, I guess. If I run an ad campaign tomorrow that takes people to the latest issue by boosting that post or something, and I'm not running any other ad campaigns, and I can see those statistics going up every day, like clearly there's something to it, It's got to like suffocate. You got to suffocate like one stream advertising wise to see how the other one's working out. But
right,
I don't know. I need to get all these issues ordered hard copy though.
Yes,
it's got to happen.
I think here's the thing too: is obviously it's expensive because you're only buying one at a time. If we were buying 100 at a time, the cost would go down a little bit. If we were buying 1,000, so on and so forth. For me, it was like 10,000 cop, which seemed way more spending all that money. But I would almost say we could even get a hand. Like I plan on probably buying a handful of them just to give to people I know that would care. You know what I mean? People like my mom who'd be proud of it and shit.
And it's like seeing how much interest there's been as far as hard copies go, because we get messages all the time, and usually that question is like, where can I get a copy?
Right.
So, I mean, the interest for hard copies is still there, which is kind of surprising considering like print magazines are slowly on their way out. That media is just slowly dwindling.
Oh yeah. Big time. Big time.
But if we could figure out a way to get enough interest and like upfront money together to make it so that there's hard copy printed in mass, like I'd be all for it.
Yeah.
It's not something I've really looked into yet. It's kind of hard to gauge currently, like how many people are actually serious about it. Because if we did that, then obviously there'd have to be some sort of a subscription,
right,
set up, you know. Because then, you know, I'd be looking at trying to get it in, you know, not necessarily chain pet stores, but other, you know, independently owned pet stores.
Sure.
I don't know how any of that works. I'm not afraid to look into it and pursue it. It's just a matter of like how feasible is it currently.
And, you know, and funding, man, it all comes down
to that too.
If it's $10,000 a month, that ain't happening. Now, right now, it's not. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if it is like what it is or not. I need to hunt down the printer we used for the magazines I was at. They're out of like Atlanta. They're not that far away. I would, but too many people.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and then that's why I like having the Picho option, because then, like I said, it's still free digitally. But if you want a hard copy, you can shell out the money because it's not cheap. Like I said, after shipping, I set the cost at like $12.99 an issue. We make like $3 an issue, like a print at that rate. Like we make really very little.
Right.
But it is something, and that's like me and Billy already have a plan in place with ad dollars and stuff like that, where a percentage goes into advertising for the magazine to grow it, so we can snowball it into more advertisers and get more money and stuff like that. But I don't know, like I mean, with the way that Sean's came out, I feel like that $20 or whatever an issue probably isn't anything too crazy. And like I said, if people want it, then they can go order it on demand.
Right.
You know?
And that goes into the website itself, because they are going to go to the website because the articles they want to read. And then they go, holy crap, this is cool. I want a hard copy. Or I'm going to give one to my 12-year-old nephew because he's heavily restricted on the internet because he's 12, but he loves animals and love it, you know?
Yeah. So my whole opinion on the whole print thing is, you know, it'd be nice. It's something I would definitely look into in the future, but I think it's too early to call it.
Sure.
You know?
But I agree with you on the website completely.
Because I'd also want the print quality itself to be kind of high. You know, I wouldn't want it to be cheap.
Yeah, I don't want
it to be like balled out and top notch, but I don't want it to be
right. But I definitely,
yeah,
you can see Sean's copy has a very good photo stock, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that it's a thicker gauge of paper.
Yeah, but like that's the weird thing, because Daniel Wakefield, he got one printed because he had the cover and he had the you know, the Uganda article.
Right.
And he sent me a picture of his, and it doesn't look like it's the same kind as what Sean got, even though it came from the same company.
Oh, really?
Let me go back and try and find it. Yeah, I don't know.
Better grade of paper.
Maybe. He got the glossy. Like, they have a glossy and they have a matte, and I just put glossy as the option because that just looked fine. But
right.
Damn it. Where the hell is this? Daniel Wakefield. No, I guess it did. Like, I thought his was just like the stapled, like how Reptiles has theirs, just the stapled pages. There's no real binding. His looks like that. He said the color came out a little darker, I think, than it really is, but he said it looked fine. But yeah, I mean, that'd be cool just to have a freaking stack, man, of the magazines, you know.
Right.
So anyone who's here, be on the lookout, because I will definitely be having that that notified to everyone when that is up and running and the website's going. And
Loving it.
I think I could reasonably get the website kind of where I want it, before posting all the articles in like a day or two.
Cool.
Because I hammered out the THP one in like 2 days, and I was pretty happy with that. So.
All right. I have another article for you that I started it like 2 weeks ago, and I keep forgetting to get back to it. But I'm about 500 words in, and I'll hopefully have it done by the end of the weekend. Hopefully.
Cool. Take your time because we'll probably end up kicking that to the April issue.
Whatever.
So we're on no sort of crazy time schedule.
I know. Still, got to keep that shit flowing.
But I am getting the call that the streetlights are on. So
I figured as much. We're at an hour 51. So.
We have THP tomorrow. We've got a cool announcement. Very excited. I won't spoil anything. Y'all will just have to listen to it. But we're doing kind of like a pseudo one-on-one. Pretty stoked to announce things tomorrow. So anyone who listens to THP, be on the lookout and get a shirt. See y'all later.
I saw Brock put out his new shirts. They look good.
He did. He made a Teespring store, so I'm not paying taxes on his shirts.
Nice.
And, yeah, I need to grab me one at some point.
Yes, sir. I concur. All right, man. Have a good night.
Nighty-night. Keep your butthole tight.
Tight.